Hey everybody, this video here is made specifically for you home buyers, especially home buyers just getting into the market to start looking at homes. We're at December now and we're getting into the peak season, right when the holidays are starting to end, and we are going to have a lot more seller confidence. They're going to be getting homes on the market. I'm expecting to see some inventory start to climb up a little bit, which is going to be great for you home buyers. Now, a big question that you want to ask yourself as you're looking is, do I want a home that's in an HOA community or not? So in today's video, we're going to talk about the pros and the cons of living in an HOA community, because as you're looking for homes, there's a very good chance that you're going to come across those homes with HOAs. According to the National Association of Realtors, Florida leads the nation in the #2 spot of having the most HOAs, and South Florida leads the state of Florida as having the most HOAs. So we want to know the benefits to having an HOA and the downside to having an HOA, so that you know if that's something that's going to work for you or not with your specific needs. So Nick Macy here, First Partners Realty. Let's get into the video now. Okay, the first and most obvious thing to consider with an HOA community is going to be your monthly fees. Now, every community varies. You may have one community that has a $200 HOA fee, and right next door there may be another community with a $400 HOA fee. So it all depends on what that community is offering with amenities. Every community sets their own monthly fees, so you want to check with them as you're looking. So when you're looking at homes, you may want to tell your agent that you are going to set your limit at a certain price point. I don't want a home with an HOA of over X amount of dollars, and your agent can put those parameters in as they're searching, so that they're not wasting your time sending you homes that have HOA fees higher than what you're willing to spend. But you want to check with that community. If you find a home that you're really interested in, make sure that you know what those communities are going to offer you, because a lot of times, especially with newer build homes, the HOAs they're setting to basically cover themselves with the cost. A lot of places are going to offer you lawn maintenance. That's going to be a big chunk of money right there that's already paid for. A lot of communities are offering cable. Some do water. They have a community pool, a clubhouse, a gym. They have either security in one way or another, whether it's just a gate and you call in and the owner that you're calling will open the gate, or they have a manned security guard. Now those are going to cost a little bit more money because they have to pay to staff those security guards 24 hours. But there is that added comfort of security that lots of people like here in South Florida. So make sure that you're checking to see what's offered. Some places even do pressure washing on the driveway and the sidewalk. Some places do roof maintenance. Some places will paint the exterior of the home periodically, every set, maybe couple of years. So check with a community if you come across homes that you really like in a certain area, because a lot of times, like I said, now they'll end up paying for themselves. Here in South Florida, lots of people come here to retire and they don't want to think about any of that stuff anymore. They just pay it, they set it and forget it. It's all taken care of. All right, the next thing to consider are going to be the rules, the regulations, the guidelines that HOA is going to offer. Some people just don't like being told what they can and can't do. If that's you, then an HOA community is probably not going to be the best thing for you. Some people don't care, but like I said, there are rules and regulations that you're going to have to follow. Like I said, some places cover lawn maintenance, some places don't. If you're in a community that doesn't do lawn maintenance, you're going to have to make sure that you're keeping your lawn maintained. Otherwise, it'll come to a point where the HOA is going to give you a notice that you need to take care of things, and if you continue to let it go untouched, then they're going to start imposing fines on you that are going to actually be liens on your property. If you don't take care of them, you're going to have a lot more trouble down the road. HOA communities typically require certain paint colors on your home. You're going to have to stay within certain selected colors that they have for you to choose from, and you're also not going to be able to have the same color as your two next door neighbors on either side. So if your neighbor has a color that you really wanted, then you're most likely not going to be able to get that. So you have to consider those things as well, those little details. Fences will have to be a certain style. You may like wood fences and they may not allow wood fences. They may just have those aluminum fences that you can see through. So you have to deal with that. You have to know what you're able to do. A lot of HOA communities don't allow pickup trucks. vans, commercial vehicles, unless you can fit them into your garage, but a lot of the times you can't. So if you have one of those vehicles, or motorcycles, even RVs, you want to make sure that you check beforehand before getting too far into the process. Most communities also have pet restrictions. They may have a weight limit that you have to stay within. Some places don't allow certain breeds of dog. They may limit the number of pets that you're allowed to have. So again, all these things you need to check beforehand as you're looking, and making sure that your agent is aware of your unique situations as you're going through the process. And the last thing to consider, which I don't think is as big of a deal, but some people think about it, so I want to address my opinion on it, is appreciation. Now, I've come across many articles that will tell you HOA communities appreciate better than non-HOA communities, and I've come across many articles that tell you the complete opposite. So it really depends, again, on your unique community. Here in South Florida, lots of communities are very large, and they are almost their own sub-market. So it really depends on what community you're in and how popular that community is. A community like PGA National, which is just absolutely humongous and has little sub-communities, is going to have a completely different market than Ballin Isles, which is another huge community, but they are two completely different neighborhoods, where Ballin Isles is a golf membership. It's a mandatory golf membership buy-in when you're in that community. So that's going to limit the number of people that are going to be looking there. It's a little bit of a slower market than PGA National because there's a membership there, but it's not mandatory. So you got to think about that. So it's really specific to that one community or that specific area of wherever you may be looking in. So, and the big thing with that too, with appreciation, is really, are you looking for a home as a place to live in, and you're going to settle there, you're going to be there for a good number of years raising your family, or are you looking at this as just an investment opportunity? Because if that's the case, then we need to have a whole different conversation than what this video is about. But for the most part, people are looking at a home as a place to live. They're going to be there for a while, even if the market is always fluctuating. Okay, the market's going to rise, the market's going to go down, but it's always going to be fluctuating. So if you're buying your home and the market ends up going down a year after you own the home, there's a good chance that it's going to come back up, especially if you're living there. If you're planning on living there for 5, 7, 10 years, the market's going to come back up. So if that's something that you're worried about, then that's a whole nother conversation that we have to have. That most likely you're not planning on living there for a while. So consider that as you're looking at homes. I don't think that the appreciation of a home should be the number one thing. Obviously, if it's in an area that you don't think is going to do well, then you might want to look at something in a different area. Also, like I said, the country club communities where they have a mandatory buy-in, that's a whole different type of market, even versus another community with an HOA, just because of the fact that they have those high fees that you have to buy into. In addition to purchasing the home, you may have to come up with another $50,000, $70,000, $100,000, and then your HOA fees are also most likely a lot higher in those communities as well on a monthly basis. So I hope that gives everybody a little bit of insight into what goes on with an HOA versus a non-HOA. I think the bottom line is, do you like to just have complete freedom with what you can and can't do with your home and your yard? Or do you really prefer to have that convenience of just having other things taken care of, and you can just live in your home and just enjoy that lifestyle? So if that's something for you, then an HOA is probably more your suit. If you'd rather just be able to do whatever you want, you prefer a bigger yard, then a non-HOA community is probably something more down your road. But if you have any other questions about this, please let me know. Please reach out to me, and I'd be happy to talk to you in more detail about your unique situation and how we can help you find your dream home here in South Florida. And as always, please make sure you check out my YouTube page, like and subscribe there. All of my videos are in one easy to find location. And as always, Nick Macy here with First Partners Realty. Enjoy the rest of your day. Talk to you soon. Bye.